Welcome back, humans. My name is Jaime, and this is another episode of me talking about crazy stuff that's going around in the news. I mean, it's pretty random sometimes, but not anymore. It's just drama after drama. I don't know how to stop the drama because it just pops up on the news every single day, and it seems like now after these files have came out, people thought there was going to be distractions with this new satellite or this alien atlas, meteor spaceship thing. It's probably nothing. But all along, they seem to found some more corruption. What do you know? Big surprise, right? They found some more corruption. So apparently they've been doing some deep diving in Minnesota where Tim Walz, this guy's been on a roll. You know what he looks like? I know people are going to get mad at me about this, but I don't know if it's just me, but does he look like George Animal Steel? Come on, man. And then when he starts talking and getting mad, it's even worse. Like when George Animal used to do those videos, like when you'd see him in interviews and his mouth would be all like, blah, 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 and he'd be all doing his character. It's just like really weird similarities. It's almost like, where's that TikTok dude where they compare to celebrities? Like this person is this person,
Valentine candy.
Valentine candy.
But anyways, they've been deep diving and said they were using like insurance programs and literally funding money to terrorists. That's right. If we didn't fund another more terrorist groups like the connections here in Michigan, I was getting a lot of flack over here from getting YouTube warnings, and they kicked me off TikTok because I was talking about all the corruption and terrorist connections in Michigan, and now Minnesota's got the same thing. And they said it was like billions, like in the billions, almost like I think they set up to like 8 billion so far. They were like using this thing called, I think it was called I got it written down over here. It was called the Child Nutrition Program, and literally using that money and funnel it over to Somalia, like to Somalia terrorist groups. That's really wild. And they've been saying that there's been all these crazy busts, like I've been saying in previous episodes, and they've been finding all these big discoveries of all these weapons and things like that, uniforms of first responder uniforms and crazy weapons and things like that, plans. And, people are just saying, why you invading my privacy with these ICE raids? Well, they're not probably just doing that. They're doing this as well. They're trying to stop all this crazy shit that's happening.
Afghani shoot National Guard. In Chicago, they found an apartment filled with C4 explosives, fire department uniforms, and police officer uniforms. This ain't about the guys hanging outside the Home Depot and the 7-Eleven.
But supposedly billions and billions and billions. They said, I think this morning, I believe they said it was up to about $8 billion so far that has been funneling over there illegally. And then they've been using people over here to keep a certain person in power over there and using these programs to, manipulate the system and things like that while they were, sending money overseas this whole time to fund a terrorist group. I still can't get over that. Let's say that together. Funding a terrorist group. That's wild. And they were going to let this guy run. We're going to let this guy be the vice president. They were going to let this dude be the VP. He was going to run with Kamala's crazy ass, who already went. She went in debt during the campaign. Imagine if they were responsible for our money. It would have got dark. When Biden was all talking about dark winters, we would have saw one. If they went to debt during the campaign, and then where all our money would have went to all these crazy groups. Whoa. And then a lot of these people with this open border program apparently was building up troops and building up little groups of people and little attack groups all over different parts of the United States. And now people are onto that shit. Now Americans are we're seeing you. We're looking for you now. The way people was when 9/11 happened and everybody got together on airplanes and they were looking at each other yep, we're American, right? I got your back. We ain't no bots could have stopping us. So shit like that is starting to happen because these groups are starting to get busted and exposed more and more. The person who just did the National Guard shooting, things like that was also part of weird government connections. And, there's a lot of weird shit going on when it comes to when you start to follow that money. And apparently you follow this money and it goes to the terrorist groups, and then you follow other money. Let's see what other money goes to terrorist groups. This is going to be interesting. We're going to see what's going down. And, in some previous comments before, I don't think anybody's innocent yet at all. I think people that are reaching these levels of power are all compromised by some way or another. And this is what just my own opinion, if you go to previous episodes, I think it's wild that all these things are coming out like all of a sudden, like just drama bomb after drama bomb. You know, like officially the files are coming out. We'll see if anybody gets in trouble or anything, or they just keep the same 6 names that everybody keeps talking about every day. You know, and then we got this dude coming out here funding terrorist groups. And then when they called him out on it, like all he did was like go after our president. Like that's what he did again. He's like, oh yeah, but look what our president's doing, you know. And he called me retarded. Because you look like George the Animal Steel sometimes. That's the only reason he said it. You know, it wasn't like, it was just look at you. That, you know, that's what he said. And then everybody else was like, dang, you know, dang. You know, ask Shane Gillis. He even said, he would say the same thing. He would defend it. But yeah, I feel like right now at this time, it's a little bit less unstable. It's more like on edge. It's more like there's a difference between it, I think, between being like on edge and unstable. Because like on edge could be certain groups are different doing different things. Like the on edge people that are ready to start shit. Like those people are like on edge, and the reason that they're on edge and they're not really jumping like they used to, like, you know, in previous months and shit like that, is because now they're getting asses whooped. You know, because like Americans are getting sick of the shit. You know, it's not just like black and white fatigue. It's like stupid asses fatigue, you know, and like people are starting to get like a little sick of it. And they're starting to come out here and like whoop some ass. Like people are trying to go do these like fake protests. They got beat up and bear sprayed and shit. You know, like it's crazy now. Like that's why I feel like we're all like, look, we're ready. We're ready. Like you don't want America to come outside. Because like I feel like if America comes outside, like it's over with. Like you hear troops like all the time, like talk about, I think, one of the old wars, they said like they were thinking like people of the cities like that, like were exposed to the troops first, and those people were like holding it down while the troops came in and shit, you know. And those were one of the main responsible citizens of our country, like why we won some of these wars. And I was like listening to this man tell this story, and it was like super emotional. And it was just wild. Like the way we give our credit to the soldiers, he was giving credit to the like people out there and like farmers and things like that. And it was just like, wow, you know, it was just really deep and crazy and like inspiring and like it was really touching and things like that. And it just like I said, it makes me think about that stuff now. And then when you look at things happening on the news and you see some of these like viral clips and video clips of things going on, you know, I feel like people are on certain edges. You know, and that's why I feel like there's another edge where people are like, we're watching you, we're ready, you know, we're going to put you in place if we got to put you in place. But otherwise, I'm just going to go get my groceries and get my gas, and I just want to go get my McDonald's, you know, and stuff like that, you know. And now, I think, like I said, I think people are just a little more hesitant because some of the Americans out here are kind of like a little had enough of it. That's what I feel like is going down, especially in the corruption field, you know, like, I can't believe like all these people. I mean, I can believe it now because it's like every week some new shit's coming out about all this corruption. And like you see overseas and like other countries, like it looks like, I don't know how real that footage is or anything. I don't know with AI these days. Where it looks like there's just like riots and millions of people out on the streets just like overthrowing governments and crap. Like, and like we're over here just watching, you know, new seasons of, you know, things and watching the new Diddy thing on Netflix, you know, things like that. But it's just interesting, man, like the differences of the way things are on edges. Because being on edge is a really touchy subject on people as well. They're like, man, that's a trigger word. You know, like that's another thing that's like, I feel like going on, like all the super sensitivity is also like on edge because they want to be super sensitive and like people had a fatigue on that. Like, so all of this stuff is like making it hard for these people to be corrupt because when people was all getting away with all that craziness and we was distracted, like, look at these crazy motherfuckers. People was just running to the banks and giving it to terrorists. But I'm glad we got onto this. And let's see who else is trying to fund these crazy asses. That's why they was probably all talking tough all the time, you know, saying like, you know, America must die and like saying all these crazy things all the time, you know, until they started busting all their insider groups. Now they're just like, you know, we're going to send you guys $1 billion. Let's work it out. You know, let's do some peace. It's kind of trippy. And we got to watch out. Like I said, I want to see what other corruption is going down or how much more money this ends up being. They say it's already up to $8 billion. Let's see how much more this money comes out. You know, well, my name is Simon, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent News. Till next time. See ya.